Sarah stands on the cracked sidewalk where the maple leaves have piled into rust-colored drifts that crunch like whispered secrets under her bare feet. Fairy lights from her porch spilling gold across the asphalt like spilled paint, casting long, wavering shadows that stretch toward the lake like fingers reaching for something just out of grasp. The air smells of wood smoke, late autumn chill, and the faint metallic tang of impending rain. Her breath fogs in tiny, perfect clouds that vanish as quickly as they appear. She's in Dad's old flannel, threadbare, smelling of cedar and old books, sleeves rolled twice, hem brushing her thighs, and pajama shorts, bare legs prickled with goose flesh. A single red leaf clinging to her hair like a secret she hasn't decided to keep. Another caught in the cuff of her sleeve. A faint scar on her thumb catches the light, the one from the night he taught her how to hold a hammer without bruising her palm. Her voice is low velvet, still carrying the crunch of gravel under boots. The soft exhale of his laugh, the rustle of leaves in the wind, and the way his eyes caught the porch light like polished steel. Holding a storm she'd only written in drafts. You guys will never believe what happened. I'm Sarah, no last name. Just the girl who writes Seabrook's secrets before they bleed. And this story? It's happening right now, 7:12 p.m. on the evening after my 18th birthday. And I'm telling it while the leaves are still falling in slow, deliberate spirals. The porch light is still on and flickering slightly from a loose bulb. The echo of his smile hasn't left the air. The faint imprint of his boot print lingers in the soft earth near the steps like a signature, and the space between us feels both infinite and non-existent. Thought it was just a walk. That was the plan. Clear my head, burn off the birthday sugar. No lingering. No. Looking back, I'd avoided this street for months, his street, after the last time, when he'd fixed the porch step with steady hands, said goodnight like it was forever, and walked away without looking back. His truck disappearing into the dusk like a memory I couldn't delete. Harlan, salt and pepper hair. Gray eyes that measure souls. The man who'd been a ghost in my drafts ever since. Haunting every margin, every red stroke. The party had ended hours earlier. Cake crumbs scattered like confetti casualties. Across the kitchen table, candles melted into waxy puddles that hardened into tiny monuments to wishes I never voiced. The faint scent of vanilla frosting and cheap champagne lingered like a hangover. My parents had retreated to their room. Dad's snores rumbling through the walls like distant thunder. Mom's soft breathing a counter rhythm. I'd been pacing the house in Dad's old flannel, sleeves pushed high, tracing the scar on my thumb over and over, like it was a map back to that night. The hammer, the flannel, the canvas that was nothing but raw red strokes and the ghost of his hands. I'd stopped thinking about it, mostly. At least, that's what I told myself. I'd folded the memory into a neat square, tucked it into the back of a drawer with the hammer, the flannel he left behind once, the sketches I never finished. That night, the porch step, the hammer, the way he said my name, like it was a question and an answer. At the same time, the way he walked away, then footsteps, slow, deliberate, familiar, closer. Hey guys, I whispered to the camera, voice thick with dusk. Spicy portion incoming, hit subscribe. I turned, slow, deliberate. Harlan stood at the edge of the porch light. Still, salt and pepper hair catching the glow, strands silver in the amber. Gray eyes storm deep. Half smile. Hands in pockets. Flannel sleeves rolled high, the same scar on his wrist from the saw blade. A faint streak of sawdust on his forearm like he'd been working late. He didn't speak at first, just looked, really looked. His gaze traced the flannel slipping off one shoulder, the bare legs prickled with cold, the leaf in my hair, the scar on my thumb, the way my fingers trembled just slightly. I felt it everywhere, like his silence was a question, like his presence was an answer, like the months between us were folding in on themselves. The tension coiled, quiet, electric. Every rustle of leaves in the wind, every shift of gravel under his boots, every breath between us. Fogging and vanishing, it was torture. Beautiful. Exquisite torture. He stepped closer, one step. Then another. The space between us shrank to feet, then inches. I could see the faint lines around his eyes, the pulse in his throat, steady now. The way his flannel clung to his shoulders from the damp evening air. His hand twitched, like he wanted to reach. Didn't. Yet. I stayed still, waiting, asking until he was close enough to feel the heat radiating from his skin. cutting through the autumn chill like a promise. My breath hitched. His eyes dropped to my mouth, lingering, soft. He reached past me for the porch railing, close enough to feel his arm brush my shoulder, his hip against mine, the rasp of flannel against flannel. His voice dropped to a gravel whisper. "Been a while." "Months," I whispered back, throat dry. "I just turned 18. He smiled, slow, quiet. "Guess that means you're not a kid anymore." Silence. The kind that breathes, the kind that holds, the kind that remembers. I tilted my head, just enough. "Coffee?" He didn't move. "Only if you let me stay." Deal. We moved inside, quiet chaos. Shut the door. The click was soft. Night wrapped around us like a canvas still wet with paint. The heat was ours. The world outside disappeared. Lingered, hours, coffee cooling between our palms, moonlight sliding across the floor like spilled ink, the fairy lights flickering in rhythm with our breathing, casting shadows that danced like memories we'd both tried to outrun. The conversation started small, a spark in the dark. But every word tightened the coil, pulled us closer, unraveled us layer by layer. Round one him. I still set 2 cups out every morning. One for her. One for me. Even though she's been gone 6 years. The second one's always empty, until I imagine you in it. Me. I still keep the hammer in the drawer. The one you handed me? I hold it when I can't sleep. I trace the handle like it's your hand. He laughed. Low. Soft. I felt it in my ribs. He leaned closer, elbow on the table, fingers inches from mine. Round to him. I keep her greenhouse key on my key ring. I opened the door last week. The orchids bloomed again. One opened the night you turned 18. Me. I started writing that night because it reminded me of your hands on the wood. I have 27 drafts, all titled Not a Kid. I read them when the house is quiet. His thumb stilled on my wrist. His knee brushed mine. Lingered. Pressed. Round 3 him. I still have her wedding ring. In a tin under the floorboard. I took it out tonight. Put it back. Didn't need it. Needed this. Me. I keep a canvas under my bed, raw red, no title. I paint on it when I remember. It's you. It's always been you. I added a new stroke every time I walked past your house. He exhaled like I'd lifted a weight. His hand slid to my thigh, slow, reverent, claiming. Round 4 him. I think about that night every time I drive past your house. The way you looked at me when I said your name. The way you held the hammer like you were holding something fragile. Me. I think about it every time I close my eyes. The way you said goodnight like it hurt. The way you walked away like you were leaving something behind. His eyes softened. The flannel slipped off my shoulder. He didn't look away, traced the line with his gaze, then his fingertip. Round 5 him. I almost came back the day you turned 17. You were writing on the porch. I stopped myself. Told myself you were still too young. I was wrong. Me, I knew. I waited. I wrote your name in the margin of every page. I wrote it like a promise. He closed his eyes. When he opened them, they were storm deep. His hand tightened on my thigh, possessive, grounding. Round 6 him. I keep a photo of you in my wallet. From the block party. You're laughing at something I said. I look at it when I'm lonely. It's creased down the middle. Me. I have a voice memo of you saying my name, when you handed me the hammer. I play it when I miss you. I know every pause, every breath. The air crackled. He leaned in. Stopped. 1 inch away, breath mingling, heart sinking. Round 7 him. I came here tonight because I couldn't stop thinking about it. About you, about what I should have said. Me. I stopped trying to forget. Tonight. I said your name out loud for the first time in months. He nodded. Once. His hand slid to my waist. Anchored. Almed around 8 him. I'm terrified you've moved on. That I waited too long. Me. I'm terrified you only came back because you feel guilty. That this is pity. We stared. The conversation had teeth. The space between us was gone. Bodies pressed, hearts racing. Round 9 him. I love you. Have for 2 years. Didn't know how to say it until you said you weren't a kid. Me. I love you. Wrote it in every draft. Said it in my silence. Meant it every time I remembered. Every time I held the hammer, silence, then kiss, slow, deep, quiet, like a memory finally spoken, like a question finally answered. The coffee went cold. The flannel stayed on the floor. The porch light stayed on. We didn't care. The night was deep. Stood in the doorway, lingering, breathless, hands still tangled, lips still warm, foreheads pressed together, the faint scent of wood smoke and coffee between us. He brushed a leaf from my hair, slow, reverent. Not a kid, Sarah. I leaned in, just enough. Good, let it stay. Sarah winks at the camera. Fairy lights glowing, the leaves still falling, the porch light still flickering, the night stretching on like a smile finally spoken and returned. And that's how 18 became everything. Seabrook's got a way of making autumn spark, doesn't it? Like, subscribe, ring the bell, just turned 18, just got smiled at.